How do you do? Did you ever give up on something that was important to you? It's hard to do, isn't it? Well, the woman in this story gave up on herself many times, but it wasn't hard for her. She thought there was no hope, that she was junk. Fortunately, there were others who knew better, and they refused to give up on her. And she learned why when her heart and mind and life were unshackled. This is Unshackled, dramatizing true life stories produced in Chicago by Pacific Garden Mission. There are all kinds of glue on the market to fix just about anything that's broken. Now, wouldn't it be super if there were one to mend broken lives? Street people who come to Pacific Garden Mission are in desperate need of some way to restore their shattered lives. They arrive with every basic human need, from food, clothing, and shelter, sometimes even medical and dental care, to a need for acceptance and hope, all of which the mission provides. And there's no charge for anything. And yes, there is a way to fix broken lives, this way that holds forever, which no glue can promise. But God can and does. And now for broadcast around the earth, here's program number 2404 in the series Unshackled, the program that makes you face yourself and think.
Miss Lofthouse, please. You're not going to make it through the night. I need to know your next of kin. Please, Miss Lofthouse, can you hear me?
Yes.
I need to reach someone in your family.
Mom's in Kentucky.
Any brothers or sisters?
No phone. Mom's pastor. Please get him. Brother Busby, 5,000 Kedville.
I'm glad you came, Pastor. A bubble went to her heart, then exploded and went into her lungs. She has infected fluid in her lungs. There's no way to get it out in time.
Please, Brother Busby, pray for me. Don't let me go to hell. I know I'm dying. Please don't let me go there.
No one wants to hear those words. No one would want to hear many things the woman in our story heard over the years as she was led down a twisted path of deception until she heard the truth. By then, she thought it was too late. Because of the sensitive nature of this story, we advise special parental guidance. This is the true story of Alicia Lofthouse, right now on Unshackled.
I grew up in Chicago, where my mother and stepfather worked nights as bartenders, leaving us 5 kids in the care of a man who molested me. I hated what he did to me and hated Mom for not being there. When I was 7, I told a neighbor who went with me to tell Mother. In disbelief, Mom slapped me and called me a liar, which made me hate her even more. After that, I became rebellious and was blamed for anything that went wrong. At 13, a new crisis arose.
Order in the courtroom, please. Mrs. Lofthouse, your daughter was picked up on the streets and taken to the Audie home for juveniles. Do you know why she ran away from home?
No, Your Honor. I guess it's because she's so rebellious.
Well, she told the court psychiatrist that her stepfather tried to molest her. She said she fought him off and ran away. According to her, he was drunk at the time.
Oh, Alicia, you liar! He
Order!
didn't do that.
Order, please, in the courtroom.
He did!
Mrs.
He tried
Lofthouse,
to get
please
in bed
control
with me
yourself.
when I was homesick from school. I hate him. I don't want to go home ever. But the judge made me go home. From then on, I ran away again and again. I longed for someone to love me. At 14, I had a boyfriend. I thought I found the answer. I was pregnant. Visualizing myself with a child, I knew that at last I'd have someone to love me. One day, as I sat with some friends who were having a bad LSD trip, one of them freaked out and jumped on my stomach, causing a miscarriage. I didn't even want to live after that. Hey, give me one of those. I hate everyone. I hate my mother and I hate my boyfriend. I really hate my dad. Most of all, I hate God. Why would a God do something like this? Why would he let so many bad things happen to me? What have I ever done to him to make him do this to me? I walked to a nearby park. I don't remember where I got the razor blade, but I remember crying and cutting my wrist, saying, "Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me." I awoke at the hospital emergency room as they were sewing my arm. I fought and screamed at them to let me die, but they put me to sleep with a shot. My life had no meaning, and I was easy prey for a man I thought was a friend.
So, you want to know why me and my old lady are so laid back, huh? Well, I'll tell you, Alicia. It's called heroin.
Could I have some?
Yeah, but you have to use a needle.
Well, if I can have peace like that, I don't care what I have to use.
Well, come on into the bathroom and I'll fix you up.
Good. Oh, can you close the door part way and I'll just stick my arm through so I don't have to watch?
Sure, kid. Whatever you want. Now, give me your arm. I can see the scar on your wrist.
Can you believe that Cook County shrink asked me why I tried to kill myself?
What did you tell him?
I said, 'cause stupid, I wanted to die. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I told him I couldn't afford a bracelet, so I thought I'd make my own.
Okay, Alicia, here you go.
After the first time, I was able to watch him inject the drugs. Day by day, I got hooked, not knowing it was part of his plan. One day, I left school early because I was sick and went to his house for a fix.
I can't share it with you anymore, Alicia.
What do you mean you can't share it?
Well, you're getting hooked, and your habit is more than I can afford. My old lady is angry because I don't make enough to support me and her, let alone you, too.
What am I supposed to do? I'm sick. I need some of that.
Sorry, kid. Find another supply.
Well, even if I had the money, I wouldn't know where to go, and who would sell to a kid like me?
Tell you what. I have a friend who would pay to spend some time with a cute little kid like you. I'll give you a fix if you're willing to do that.
That was the beginning of my prostitution. It seemed like a world without end, but as soon as the heroin hit my system, I didn't care what I had to do to get high. One day, one of the customers asked me why I was dressed so badly, and I told him I didn't have money for new clothes. He told me to dump that man and he'd take care of me. I did, and he kept his promise. I had clothes, gold jewelry, and all the heroin I wanted until one day he was found dead in the trunk of his car. I crawled back in the world of hate, selling my jewelry for drugs, then selling my body for the same. I was arrested.
Oh, boy, what a night this is.
How old are you, Alicia?
16.
They found this bottle of pills on you. Are they any good?
Huh? I don't understand.
Are they for any health purpose?
Huh?
Are you currently under a doctor's care?
What?
So in other words, you don't need them.
No, sir, I don't.
Go home, kid. Get off the streets and be somebody.
That kind policeman had mercy on me, but I didn't heed his advice. I got high on anything that was given me. I stole cars just to see if I could get away with it. As a habitual runaway, drug abuser, and whatever else I could get into, the judge finally got fed up and sent me to a girls' detention center in Geneva, Illinois for 10 months. When my time was almost up, I went home on furlough.
Well, I'm glad to see you and your dad getting along so well.
He's all right, Mom.
He thinks the world of you kids. We couldn't have any together, so he claims you as his own.
Yeah, I can see he tries. And now that I've been drunk myself, I know you say and do things you don't even remember.
You know, there were times when he actually sold his own blood to put food on the table for you kids.
Yeah? Well, there was a time when I would have done that for my baby, too.
You'll have another chance, Alicia.
Well, I don't want any kids now. I'm almost 18. I'll be legal to do whatever I want.
Do what's right and you'll be okay.
I didn't listen to Mom either. Instead of going back to the detention center where I had only 2 weeks to serve, I took my 16-year-old sister and headed to California with a friend. We got separated hitchhiking, but reunited in California. Now I see the danger in what we did. Then I just thought we were cool. Until my friend and my sister were caught shoplifting a souvenir.
Alicia, they're gonna take me to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Help me. Please help me.
Hey, come on, guys. She's only 16. She's never been to jail. Come on, give her a break.
Alicia!
Hey, you guys are jerks. You know that? You got no heart at all. Now, come on. Hey, get your hands off of me. Hey, I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm sorry I got you into this, Alicia.
Don't worry about it. I've been through worse things than this.
What's gonna happen to you?
They found out I'm a runaway from Geneva. They're sending me back.
What'll they do to me?
Oh, it's your first offense. You'll just get your wrist slapped after they send you back home.
Mom didn't sound too happy when I talked to her.
Oh, I feel sick. Oh, I gotta get to the bathroom.
Alicia, I'll bet you're pregnant.
No, I can't be. No, I don't want a baby. Not now. My life is almost where I want it. No, I can't be pregnant. But I was pregnant, and I didn't know who the father was. I was a drug and sex abuser doing anything and everything for drugs. The only good thing about my pregnancy was they didn't make me go back and do my time all over again. I went home.
This baby will be good for you, help you to settle down.
I don't want a baby, Mom. I don't want to settle down.
Alicia, you don't need drugs.
You don't need alcohol either, but you and Dad drink.
But you don't know what those drugs are doing to your baby.
Well, why do you think I don't want it? It's gonna come out deformed.
Alicia.
No, I'm not giving up the drugs. This baby is not gonna rule my life. I went to rock concerts doped up on LSD, even climbed up the amphitheater to sneak into one concert when I was 7 months pregnant. One night, I sat and punched my stomach as hard as I could, screaming, "I don't want you! You came too late in my life! I don't want you!"
How far along are you now? 7 months?
Yeah, sure kicks hard. Tough little critter.
Alicia, please stop doing drugs. At least long enough to give the baby a chance to live.
It's probably too late, Mom.
Oh, honey, please. I don't care what the baby looks like. I'll take care of it for you.
You might change your mind.
Oh, no, I won't. Your dad and I both want the baby. And someday when you're ready to settle down, if you decide you want the child, you can have it. But stop doing drugs.
That seemed like a good idea, so I quit using drugs. Amazingly, I had no withdrawal pain. As I lay on my bed watching the baby kick, I wondered how could I be so cruel to a child who didn't ask to be born. I caught myself talking to a God I didn't even know or think I would ever want to know. 2 weeks later, a beautiful baby girl was born prematurely. Mom kept her promise. When Jody was 2 years old, Mom went to Kentucky to visit a friend. She came back a different person. What are you doing? Throwing away your pills, Mom?
The Lord healed me.
What are you talking about?
I went to a prayer meeting with my friend, and I learned that Christ died for my sins. That we don't have to live the way we do. Jesus set us free. They all prayed for me, and now I am healed. Listen to this. John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Then look in the same chapter. Verse 36 says, If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed.
You're reading the Bible?
Oh, it's wonderful, Alicia. Listen to this. This is just for you. John chapter 3, verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he could not see the kingdom of God.
Mom came back to a house load of dope addicts and alcoholics, but we all watched as she stayed true to her God, and her life began to change. Mine didn't. I would try to sneak out of the house to get a fix, and she would call out to me.
Alicia, sit down and listen. Look, this is just for you. Revelation chapter 20, verses 11 to 15. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. And the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Those verses burned into my soul, but I couldn't change. Mom moved to Kentucky with my daughter. I moved deeper into sin. Then came the catastrophe with cocaine, and I lay at my sister's house dehydrating. I was taken to the hospital where I lay dying and headed for hell. That's when I called for Mom's pastor. I begged him to pray and tell God I was sorry for my sins.
Oh, honey, I came as soon as I heard. We were afraid you would die.
I almost did, Mom. The doctor said there was no way I would make it, but Brother Busby came and prayed for me.
We've all been praying for you, Alicia.
The angel of death was here, Mom. I could see a dark figure waiting right there, but after Brother Busby prayed, I opened my eyes and the darkness, it was gone.
Jesus heard you cry. Did you invite him into your heart?
Yes, Mom, I want to serve him now.
When you get out of the hospital, come to Kentucky and live with Jody and me. Get away from all this.
Maybe I will, but first I want to tell my friends about Jesus.
Alicia, baby, where you been? We ain't seen you in ages.
I was in the hospital 7 weeks. Hey, I almost died.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You overdosed or what?
Yeah, bad injection of cocaine.
Well, come on, let's get high and celebrate your survival.
Oh, I don't think I should do that anymore. I prayed to God for salvation while I was in the hospital.
Well, you ought to get high at least once. I mean, after 7 weeks of being clean, it'll be like the first time, huh?
Mom went back to Kentucky and I went back to my old habits. I hated myself. All I would ever be was a junkie, a no-good junkie. Several years passed, years of doing everything to get heroin and cocaine. I didn't eat because I wanted the money for drugs, and my body wasted away. Again, I was arrested and went to jail, where I met that police officer who once befriended me. I was so ashamed to have him see the way I was.
What happened to you?
Oh, more than I could ever explain.
Why are you here?
Well, I was helping a friend move some boxes from a garage, and he had a key and told me they were his, but some detectives arrested him, and when I gave them my name, they checked their computer, and they said they had a warrant for an old prostitution charge.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks. I mean, I don't have any drugs or anything. I wasn't doing anything wrong, honestly.
Have you been searched yet?
Too late. I remembered some cocaine I was saving for a speedball as soon as I scored some heroin. When he saw them pull those drugs out of my pocket, he wouldn't even look at me. I went to jail for 30 days, where the withdrawal was horrible. Once more, I asked Jesus into my heart. I wrote a poem.
This poem is called Memories of a Junkie. I got up this morning feeling good inside my soul. I said, I love you, Jesus. Where you lead me, I will go. I was walking down the street feeling Jesus next to me, and then back to reality. My God, what did I see? I saw a woman junkie on a corner turning tricks. She was saying, help me, mister. Can't you see I need a fix? shooting drugs into her veins, knowing soon she's going to die, while her child sits at home crying, "Why, Mommy, why?" I walked up to this woman. I said, "Let me help you, please." I saw her back away as she fell down to her knees. She looked up at me crying, saying, "Girl, what can you do? You never had your body being tortured inside you. You never got up mornings with a sickness you can't beat, and every vein inside you burns like hell from Satan's heat. You never got up mornings and crawled outside your door. God, please just one more fix and I won't do it anymore. Because every time you got that fix, you pray to God you died, so you wouldn't wake up mornings just to hear your baby cry." And then a voice inside me said, "Tell her who you are." And although the girl was standing there, she still seemed very far. And all at once I realized, because in her eyes all I could see was that this tortured junkie was a memory of me.
Alicia, are you all right?
Yeah, I think I'll be released soon. I've been to court 3 times already.
Why are they keeping you locked up?
Oh, who knows? Mom, the best thing happened to me. I wrote a poem about being a junkie, and the women here asked me to read it out loud. I didn't want to, but they made me, and afterwards some of them cried, and some of them hugged me, and they all said that drugs got them into this bad situation that they were in.
I hope you never have to go to jail again, honey. I hope you rebuke the devil and follow Christ.
I will, Mom. I want to mean business for God this time. I'm coming home when I get out.
I'll put Jody on the phone and you tell her that.
Okay.
Jody? Here, dear.
Mom?
Uh-huh.
I love you.
Oh, Jody, honey. I love you too, baby. I'm coming home. The night I was released, a friend was supposed to pick me up. It was February, cold and dark, and he wasn't there. I was sure God didn't want anything to do with me, so I went back into prostitution. In jail, I had been so sure all that was behind me, but I failed again. I tried to overdose, but each time I had such a rush that I wanted to do it again. I lost track of time. And then one night, an inner voice told me to go by Joe's, my brother. And when he came to the door, I collapsed in his arms. He let me recover for 4 days and then drove me to Kentucky.
Oh, Alicia, you're nothing but skin and bones.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't eaten well for years.
The last time I talked to you, I felt sure you were planning suicide. And I started praying hard.
I'm glad you did, Mom. But I think God's given up on me.
Oh, God never gives up on anyone. You need to get into a good church and Bible study.
Oh, Mom. People take one look at me and they back away.
Well, God doesn't back away.
I quit doing drugs and drank alcohol instead. People in Mom's little town thought I had AIDS. They didn't want anything to do with me. Even my daughter and Mom were getting fed up, especially after I spent a night in jail for being drunk. And then one day, a real friend came to see me.
Alicia, why don't you come and spend the night with me?
You want me to stay with you?
Yes. We can go to church in the morning.
I don't even have a decent dress to wear.
You can wear one of mine.
You'd let me wear one of yours?
Why not? Jesus lets me wear his righteousness. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21 says, "For he hath made him to be sin for us who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him."
Well, I'd like to go. Oh, but I've been a big disappointment to God.
We all disappoint God, Alicia. That's why he sent Jesus.
The next day was Easter Sunday, so I stayed with Susie and went to church with her, wearing one of her dresses. The pastor preached on Mary Magdalene, how no one wanted to have anything to do with her. She too hit rock bottom. But when everyone else deserted her, Jesus walked by and lifted her up, casting out 7 devils. I asked Susie if we could go back that night, and I went forward and I cried out to God as never before. That was 4 years ago. Since then, my pastor has compiled a book of my poetry, and the proceeds are given to missions. 10 of my old friends are now dead, murdered, overdose, and suicide. But God, in his mercy, says to me in my favorite scripture, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, "Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new."
Friend, that new life is for you. If you've never invited Christ into your heart and life, there's no better time than now, no better place than right where you are. God looks on the heart. If you need help in this important decision, you may want to get in touch with Pacific Garden Mission. This is program number 2404. Heard in the true story of Alicia Lofthouse were Judith Easton, Joanne Silvestrak, Bill Vestine, Howard Elfman, and Helen Cutting. Original music, Lucille Becker. Sound, Nick Aloisio. Engineer, Ed Webb. Script by Kenitha Gabler, and I'm Bob O'Donnell. Unshackled is produced by Pacific Garden Mission to show through true stories that if your life is empty, it can be filled to overflowing.
The address of Pacific Garden Mission is 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. That's Pacific Garden Mission, 1458 South Canal Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. The phone number, 312-492-9410. 312-492-9410.